Turin, April 2007. A teenager takes his own life. The papers tell of a sensitive boy, a good student. They tell of teasing in a classroom, insults, and one word above all used as a slur: gay. For many, it is just another news story, one more headline, but not for everyone. And in some Christian communities, that death waits. And out of that grief, a prayer vigil is born. Not a rally, not a public protest, a prayer. At first it was only one. The death vigil born in Florence inspired other communities. And within a few years, a constellation of vigils began to appear in cities and small towns, linked by a shared practice of prayer. Welcome, pilgrims. Today we speak about the prayer vigils for the overcoming of homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia. These vigils take place each year in the month of May. They are ecumenical and open to everyone. LGBT plus people take part, along with families, friends, young and old people, catechists, Christian communities, and ministers from different churches. They do not belong to any single organization. They arise within local communities. Each vigil has its own face, its own place, its own day. What unites them is the month of May and a biblical verse chosen every year by a small commission and an open vote. For 2026, the verse is, "Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name." Isaiah 43:1. It is a word spoken to a people in exile. God speaks to those who feel lost and uprooted, and before asking anything of them, restores their identity and dignity. Discrimination does the opposite. It sticks a label on people, reducing a person to an insult or a caricature. But you're a person called by name. A vigil is a journey from darkness to light. It names what wounds us and opens space for hope. It usually lasts about an hour. It rests on 4 pillars: the Word of God, real silence, intercession, and pastoral care. It begins with a simple welcome. Then comes reading from scriptures and a time of silence for remembrance and contemplation. Short, honest testimonies might follow, giving voice to lived experiences. Then comes a gesture. Each vigil has its own gesture. A candle might be lit, people might pray in a circle, or a thought might be written and offered. There are no slogans and no banners. For 1 hour, we do not speak about flags, but about whole human beings and faith. The strength of the vigils is prayer. Some people ask, why not make a political gesture out of it? Well, because vigil is not meant to become an assembly or a rally, because creating a space of prayer where people are not reduced to labels is already in itself something deeply meaningful. Bringing one's faith there and honoring each person's conscience goes far beyond a political gesture. If there is already a vigil in your city, contact the community that organizes it or visit the portal gionata.org/inveia, where you will find an updated map and supporting materials. If there is no vigil in your area, you can organize one. No special expertise is required. What is needed is care, a small group, and a clear proposal. The first step is simply to knock. Find a church leader willing to accompany the vigil and a place willing to host the hour of prayer. Vigils are held wherever a community can gather. Churches, places of worship, parish halls, Protestant churches, or any space willing to open its door to prayer. So knock on their doors and ask if they will host a vigil. Sometimes, however, this cannot happen fully in the open. For some people and in some contexts, being open about one's faith, orientation, or identity carries real cost within families, communities, or workplaces. In some countries, it can mean violence, arrest, torture, or worse. Remember that protecting people is an act of care. A vigil is a small gesture but capable of creating change. Many churches in Italy recognize the value of those vigils. The Catholic Church, in the synodal document Living of Peace and Hope, calls the overcoming of every form of discrimination and encourages initiatives that oppose violence. The president of the Italian Bishop Conference has clarified that participation takes place in the form of prayer and reflection, recognizing the vigils as a legitimate ecclesial practice. And many Protestant churches have long lived this commitment as normal part of their witness. So, look for a vigil, and if there is none, help one begin. This is how the first one started, with one person, one community, a door, and one candle. And the will to not leave anyone alone. So, pilgrims of life, knock at the door of your churches, keep vigil with courage, and pray, strong pilgrims.